In this clip, we're going to fly this beautiful SR-71 Blackbird east from Sion, Switzerland to Mollis field, which is also in Switzerland. It's a fairly short flight. We're going to take off heading east and follow the tracks of the famous Glacier Express until we get south of Mollis, when we'll make a left turn and go and land in Mollis. The first order of business is to rev up the engine to 85%, make sure everything is going all right. Hold it there, and sooner rather than later we should check out that the controls are free and clear and moving. Next, we'll release the brake, and when it gets rolling, we'll gently move up the throttle to 100% power without lighting the afterburner. And when everything's spooled up, we'll light the burners. Rotate at 170 knots. Wheels up before 250. And we'll continue to accelerate to Mach 2. Now you'll see the train tracks below that we're going to follow. Another reason that we want to accelerate to Mach 2 now is to heat up the airframe so the metal expands and plugs all the holes from which fuel leaks out of this aircraft when it's cold. We're at about Mach 1.5 here. This is close to Mach 2, and as you can see, we're not going to be able to keep a realistic G and keep flying so low, so I'm going to take the afterburner off. Well, maybe not just yet, in a little bit. Now we're going down the valley of the Rhone River. I believe this is really beautiful track followed by the Glacier Express. Nice U-shaped ravine up ahead. You can see the nice shadow of the aircraft on the lower right there. We're approaching Munster Airport, or Munster, looks like a small village, and I guess this is where that famous cheese comes from. There's the runway. And up ahead, there is an X-off old runway, and we have to make some maneuvers right after that. We have to turn left, climb over a pass as we turn right, and pick up the train tracks again. Up ahead, the train track on the right is going to disappear at the mountain. That's probably where it goes into a tunnel, and then we'll have to pick up the train track where it emerges from the mountain on the left. And that's the valley we have to follow now. Up ahead is another pass that the Glacier Express passes. Ah, nice lake. Down we go, following the valley on the other side. Now we're south of Mollis Field, so we'll say goodbye to the Glacier Express tracks and turn left. We'll go over a high mountain ridge and then pick up the valley heading off right into Mollis Field. There's the ridge up ahead. And we have a tremendous view of the valley heading off to the right. At the end of that, there's Mollis Field Airport. We're going too fast, so we're going to turn around and slow the aircraft down to 250 knots as we do so. When it gets to 250, we're going to bring the wheels down. We have some good drag from the wheels, but we'll continue to slow the aircraft down to 190 knots and use the power to control the descent. 190 is the correct approach speed for the Blackbird. We're very close to Mollis Field runway. As we clear this ridge right underneath us, there's another ridge off to the right, and the Mollis Field runway is on the other side of that ridge. So we have to make an S-turn to land. And as we do so, we'll slow the aircraft down to 177 knots. The engine has to be at idle when we land. The aircraft has no slats or flaps or speed brakes to worry about, but it is very unforgiving at slow speeds when you bank. You cannot bank too much, and whenever you bank, you have to have your hand on the power because it needs gobs of power to stay airborne when you bank at slow speeds. And yes, you will get a tail strike if your nose is too high when you touch down. Oh well, just a little tap on the displace threshold. Nobody noticed that. And we got a little bit to the right of center line. Maybe it's the drag from that chute pulling the back of the aircraft one way, but we'll stop it right on the center line. That's a really nice airport, and we managed to stop the aircraft in about 3,000 feet of runway. Thanks for watching, and enjoy your own flight on the X-Plane 11 simulator.